Listen carefully. Negative people don't actually hate you. They hate what you remind them of. You remind them of what they're not, of what they could have been, of what they chose not to do. Your strength exposes their weakness. Your discipline burns their laziness. Your growth highlights their stagnation. Every step you take forward is a mirror they can't look into. That's why they attack you. That's why they gossip. That's why they spread their poison. Because the moment you rise, their excuses collapse. Understand this. They don't want you focused. They want you distracted. They want you reacting because your silence kills them louder than your words ever could. Don't waste energy fighting with them. Don't explain. Don't argue. Don't lower yourself. Every second you give them is a second stolen from your purpose. Negative people feed on attention. Starve them. Cut off the oxygen. Keep building. Keep moving. Keep rising. Your confidence threatens their insecurity. Your standards make them uncomfortable. And your resilience is the one thing they'll never be able to break. So the truth they hate the most, it's not that you're better, it's that you're unshakable. And no matter what they throw at you, you don't stop. Your strength exposes their weakness. That is the truth. That is why they hate you. Every time you rise, every time you push through, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you shine a light on everything they refuse to confront in themselves. And people don't like mirrors that show their flaws. They don't want to see their lack of effort, their lack of courage, their lack of drive. So when they see you strong, they take it as an attack, even when you've done nothing to them. Understand this. Your strength is not just physical. It's not just what you can lift or how much you can endure. Your strength is in your mind. It's in your decision to keep going when it would be easier to quit. It's in your ability to stay silent when they expect you to explode. It's in your resilience when life tries to break you. That kind of strength terrifies negative people because it reminds them of the truth. They had the same chance, the same opportunities, the same potential, but they wasted it. And now your very existence is proof of their failure. That's why they throw shade. That's why they whisper. That's why they try to pull you down. They're not really fighting you. They're fighting themselves. You are the reflection of what they could have been if they didn't give up, if they didn't settle, if they didn't choose excuses over effort. Your strength is a mirror they cannot escape, and it makes them bitter. When you stand tall in a room, they shrink. When you speak with confidence, they feel small. When you succeed, it burns them inside, not because you did anything wrong, but because your very existence proves that their excuses don't hold up. You become the living evidence that their story of "I can't" was a lie. And nobody wants to admit they lied to themselves for years. So they'll try to make you doubt yourself. They'll call you arrogant. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to shame you into being smaller. Do not shrink. Do not soften. Do not apologize for your strength. Because your strength is earned. They didn't see the nights you stayed up working. They didn't feel the pain you pushed through. They didn't live the battles you survived. They only see the result and they envy it. But they will never understand the price you paid for it. Negative people are loud because they're weak. They need noise to feel strong. They need attention to feel alive. But your power isn't in noise. It's in presence. You walk in silence and the room shifts. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to explain yourself. Your strength speaks before you do. That silence cuts deeper than any insult. It's why they poke, why they provoke, why they try so hard to get under your skin. Because if they can't break your focus, they know they can't touch you. Your strength exposes their weakness. But here's the secret. Their weakness exposes their fear. They fear being left behind. They fear being forgotten. They fear that you will become everything they pretended they didn't want to be. And the truth is, you will. Because while they sit and complain, you're moving forward. While they waste time tearing others down, you're building yourself up. While they wait for the world to hand them something, you're taking control. That is strength. Do not give them the satisfaction of seeing you fall. Don't hand them your energy. Don't argue. Don't defend. Don't explain. Just keep moving. Every time you stay focused, every time you choose silence, every time you keep pushing, you crush them without lifting a finger. Because nothing destroys a weak person more than seeing someone they tried to break still standing, still winning, still rising. Strength is not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being unshakable. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to bend just to make others comfortable. Negative people want you soft because it makes them feel better about their weakness. They want you small because it makes them feel taller. But when you refuse to shrink, When you stand firm in who you are, they're forced to face the truth. They're not weak because of you. They're weak because of themselves. So remember this, your strength is not the problem. Their weakness is. Never apologize for being strong. Never dim your light because it blinds someone who refuses to open their eyes. Your job is not to make them comfortable. Your job is to become unbreakable. To keep rising, to keep proving to yourself, not to them, that nothing and no one will stop you. And here's the final truth. They will hate you, they will attack you, they will try to break you, but deep down they admire you. Because you live the life they were too afraid to chase, and the only way they can cope with that pain is by trying to tear you down. Don't give them the power. Let them hate, let them talk, let them burn, because at the end of the day, your strength will outlast their weakness. Your strength exposes their weakness, and that's exactly why you must never stop. Your confidence threatens their insecurity. That is the truth they can't stomach. Confidence is power. It's not arrogance, it's not ego. It's the certainty you carry when you know who you are, when you don't need validation, when you don't beg for approval, and that shakes insecure people to their core, because insecurity thrives on weakness, on doubt, on fear. And when you show up confident, you remind them of everything they are not. You remind them that they never built themselves, that they never put in the work to earn that kind of presence. Confidence is dangerous to the insecure because it strips away their illusions. Insecure people hide behind masks, behind fake smiles, behind empty words. They pretend, they project. But when your confidence enters the room, their mask cracks. They suddenly feel exposed, small, naked in their own fear. That's why they mock you. That's why they try to cut you down. That's why they whisper about you behind your back. It's not because you've done anything wrong. It's because your confidence unmasks their weakness. Your confidence is not just in how you speak, but in how you move, how you stand, how you carry yourself when no one else is watching. It's in the choices you make. It's in the boundaries you set. It's in the way you refuse to beg for respect because you already demand it with your presence. Insecure people hate that because they can't manipulate you. They can't control you. They can't bend you. You are untouchable in your certainty, and that kills them inside. Think about it. Insecure people always need a crowd. They need applause. They need someone to clap for them so they can feel important for a moment. But confidence doesn't need applause. Confidence doesn't beg to be noticed. Confidence walks in silence, and silence is more powerful than any noise. That silence suffocates them because they live for attention and you don't. They live for approval and you don't. They live for acceptance and you don't. Your independence is the exact chain that strangles their insecurity. And here's the reality. Insecurity will always attack confidence. Always. Because insecurity cannot survive next to certainty. That's why you will be misunderstood. That's why people will call you cold. That's why they will say you think you're better. It's not that you think you're better. It's that you refuse to think you're less. And for people drowning in insecurity, that alone is enough to make them hate you. Don't mistake their envy for truth. Don't let their words shake you. Their judgment is not a reflection of your character. It's a reflection of their fear. You're not the problem. You're the reminder. You remind them of what real self-respect looks like. You remind them of what self-discipline builds. You remind them of what courage feels like. And they can't handle that reminder because it shows them what they've avoided all along. The world bows to confidence. People trust confidence. Opportunities open for confidence. And insecure people know this. They see doors opening for you that stay locked for them. And instead of building themselves up, they try to tear you down. Instead of asking how you built your strength, they resent that you have it. That resentment is their poison, not your burden. So never apologize for your confidence. Don't dim it to make someone else comfortable. Don't hide it to fit in. Don't soften it so they can feel safe in their weakness. The moment you start shrinking, you lose yourself. And for what? To make someone else feel less insecure? That's not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to honor the work you've done, the scars you've earned, the battles you've survived. That's where your confidence comes from. Confidence is not about never being afraid. It's about standing tall even when fear is screaming at you. It's about trusting yourself when no one else does. It's about believing in your worth when the world tries to tell you otherwise. And when you live with that kind of inner power, the insecure can't touch you. They can throw words, they can throw shade, they can throw doubt, but none of it sticks because your foundation is too solid. Understand this. Insecure people will always gather in groups. They will talk, they will plot, they will laugh at you behind your back. But when you walk into the room, they go silent. Not because you threatened them, but because your confidence already did. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to swing your fists. Your energy is enough. That's why confidence is the weapon the insecure fear the most. Because you can't fake it. You can't buy it. You can't borrow it. You have to build it. And they know they never did. So let them whisper. Let them doubt. Let them hate. That's their weakness talking. Your job is to keep standing, keep moving, keep showing up with that unshakable certainty. Because every step you take in confidence reminds them of the truth they can't escape. They are prisoners of their insecurity, and you are free. And freedom terrifies them more than anything else. Your confidence threatens their insecurity, and that is why you must never let it go. Your growth highlights their stagnation. That's why they despise you. Every step you take forward is a reminder of how long they've been standing still. Every new level you reach forces them to face the reality they've been avoiding. They chose comfort. They chose excuses. They chose the easy road, and now your progress exposes their lack of movement. They hate it because it burns. They hate it because it shows them the truth they don't want to admit. They wasted time, and you didn't. Growth is threatening because it's undeniable. You can't argue with results. You can't deny evolution. You can't laugh at discipline when the proof is standing right in front of you. People who stay stuck will always resent the ones who climb. They'll call you lucky. They'll say you changed. They'll say you think you're better. But deep down, what they really mean is, I see how far you've gone, and it hurts to see how far behind I am. Your growth makes their excuses collapse. They said it was impossible, but you did it. They said it takes too much sacrifice, but you sacrificed and rose higher. They said the system is against you, but you broke through anyway. Now they can't hide behind their stories anymore because you are living proof that progress is possible. And that's a truth too heavy for them to carry. People who stagnate want company. They want others stuck with them. Misery loves company. Failure loves comfort. Weakness loves to gather in groups. But the moment you decide to grow, the moment you break out of that circle, you expose the truth of their stagnation. You show that they had the same choices, the same opportunities, the same 24 hours, and they wasted theirs. Your growth forces them to look in the mirror, and what they see isn't you, it's their own regret. That's why they mock you. That's why they try to distract you. That's why they talk behind your back. It's not because your growth is wrong. It's because it makes them face their own lack of courage. They would rather laugh at you than face themselves. They would rather say, you got lucky, than admit, I got lazy. They would rather call you different than admit, I could have done it too, but I didn't. But listen carefully. Their resentment is not your problem. Their stagnation is not your burden. You don't owe them your stillness. You don't owe them your time. You don't owe them your comfort. Growth requires leaving people behind, and that's something the weak will never accept. They will guilt you. They will shame you. They will tell you that you forgot where you came from. No, you didn't forget. You just refuse to stay trapped in the same place forever. Growth is lonely because few have the courage to chase it. The moment you start changing, the moment you start leveling up, you separate yourself from the crowd. And the crowd doesn't forgive that. They want you to fit in, to settle, to stop. But you weren't built to settle. You weren't built to remain stagnant. You were built to evolve. Every day you're supposed to rise higher, to sharpen, to expand, to become more. And here's the truth. The ones who resent your growth are secretly inspired by it. They may not admit it. They may never say it out loud. But your progress plants a seed in their mind. A seed that whispers, if they can do it, I could too. And that whisper haunts them because it destroys their excuses. That's why they attack you, because it's easier to hate the reminder than to face the reality. So you must keep growing. You must keep pushing. You must keep elevating, not for them, but for you. Their stagnation is their choice. Your growth is yours. Do not dim your light so they feel comfortable in their darkness. Do not slow down so they feel better about being stuck. Do not apologize for moving forward. Progress is your responsibility, and you owe it to yourself to honor that. Understand this, the people who clap for you when you're comfortable won't clap for you when you grow, because your growth exposes their lack of movement. But don't let that stop you. Don't seek applause. Don't seek validation. Seek evolution. Growth doesn't need approval. Growth doesn't need permission. Growth is proof all by itself. Every level you reach will cost you people. Every step forward will expose more insecurities around you. But that's the price of progress, and you must be willing to pay it, because the alternative, staying stagnant just to keep others comfortable, is death while breathing. It is the slow rot of potential wasted, and that is not your path. So let them talk, let them envy, let them stew in their stagnation. You keep moving, you keep climbing, you keep showing up as the proof that growth is possible, that evolution is real, that greatness is earned. Because at the end of the day, your growth is not about them. It's about you becoming everything you were meant to be. Your growth highlights their stagnation, and that's exactly why you must never stop growing. Your silence is louder than their noise, and that's what destroys them. Negative people survive on attention. They breathe it, they feed on it, they crave it. Their entire existence is built on getting a reaction out of you. They shout, they gossip, they provoke, because deep down they know one thing: without your response, they are powerless. That's why silence is your sharpest weapon. Because silence cuts deeper than any insult. Silence exposes the weakness behind their noise, and silence leaves them screaming into emptiness with nothing to hold on to. When you stay silent, you strip them of control. They can't manipulate you. They can't drag you into their chaos. They can't pull you down into the pit they live in. Your refusal to react turns their noise into nothing. And that nothing is unbearable for them, because their entire identity depends on pulling others into their storm. They can't function in peace. They need drama to feel alive. They need conflict to feel powerful. But when you choose silence, you starve them of the only fuel they have. Noise is easy. Anyone can be loud. Anyone can run their mouth. Anyone can throw insults and try to humiliate you. But silence takes strength. Silence requires self-control. Silence requires a confidence so strong that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. That's why silence terrifies them. Because in silence, you prove you are untouchable. Think about it. When someone tries to get under your skin and you don't flinch, you don't argue, you don't even acknowledge them, they feel small. They feel invisible. They feel powerless. That's why they get louder. That's why they try harder. That's why they push with more aggression. They're desperate to get something out of you, anything, because your silence screams the truth. They don't matter. Your silence shows them they have no power over you, and that truth kills them, because negative people are not strong on their own. They are parasites. They need your energy to survive. They need your reaction to feel validated. And when you give them nothing, when you walk away, when you stay calm, you cut off their lifeline. You choke their influence. You expose how weak they truly are. But silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is focus. Silence says, I'm too busy building to waste my time on your noise. Silence says, your words don't touch me. Silence says, I rise above what you live in. That's why your silence is so loud, because it echoes in their minds long after you've walked away. They replay it. They obsess over it. They can't let it go, because in a world where everyone reacts, your refusal to do so makes you unforgettable. And here's the truth. People will always try to drag you into battles that don't matter. They'll try to bait you with insults, with gossip, with lies. But you must ask yourself, does responding make you stronger, or does it make them stronger? Every time you react, you hand them power. Every time you engage, you lower yourself. Every time you fight their noise with noise, you both lose. But when you choose silence, you win without lifting a finger. Silence is not about avoiding conflict. It's about controlling the battlefield. It's about deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. And most of the time, the noise around you doesn't deserve it. Because here's the reality. Noise dies in silence. Without response, without engagement, it fades. But the moment you feed it, the moment you react, it grows. That's why they want your reaction so badly, because your reaction gives their noise life. So you must learn to master silence, to use it as a shield, as a weapon, as proof of your strength. Don't give them the fight they want. Don't hand them your focus. Don't lower yourself to their level, because your silence makes them restless. Your silence makes them insecure. Your silence makes them realize they have no control over you. And in that silence, you grow stronger. You conserve your energy. You protect your peace. You stay focused on what actually matters. Because greatness is never achieved by drowning in noise. It's achieved by those who stay calm, who stay locked in, who refuse to be distracted by meaningless voices. The world is full of noise. People will always talk. They will always criticize. They will always try to pull you into their chaos. But if you can master silence, if you can stand tall while the world screams around you, you become unshakable. And that is the power they can't handle. So remember this, your silence is not emptiness. It is not weakness. It is not surrender. Your silence is a roar that only the insecure can hear. And it is louder than their noise will ever be. Your silence is louder than their noise, and that's why they fear it. Your energy cannot be stolen, and that is why they fail every time. Negative people live like thieves. They don't build, they don't create, they don't rise, they leech, they drain. They survive by feeding on the energy of others. They want your reaction, they want your anger, they want your frustration. Because the moment you hand them those emotions, they feel powerful. But the truth is this, your energy belongs to you, and the only way they can touch it is if you give it away. When you stop reacting, you stop feeding them. When you stop arguing, you cut off their supply. When you refuse to waste your strength on their chaos, they realize they have no control over you. That's the truth they cannot stand. They want to believe they can shake you, that they can bend you, that they can pull you down into their storm. But when you stay calm, when you stay focused, when you stay locked into your mission, you prove something they fear most. Their noise has no power over you. Understand this, negative people cannot create energy. They don't know how to generate focus, drive, or discipline. They survive by stealing. That's why they provoke you. That's why they gossip. That's why they attack. They're not looking for truth. They're looking for reaction. They're not looking for solutions. They're looking for drama. But you are not their fuel. You are not their supply. And when you understand that, you become untouchable. Think about it every time you lose your temper, every time you get dragged into pointless arguments, every time you defend yourself against lies, you hand them a piece of your power. And the more you give away, the weaker you become. That's the trap. That's the game. They don't need to defeat you. They just need to distract you. They don't need to destroy you. They just need to drain you. But when you decide your energy is sacred, when you decide your piece is not for sale, when you refuse to let them pull you in, you starve them. And nothing destroys a negative person faster than starvation. Your energy cannot be stolen because your energy is generated within. It comes from your discipline. It comes from your focus. It comes from your refusal to quit. That is something they will never understand. They think energy is about noise, about showing off, about trying to prove something. But your energy comes from silence. It comes from clarity. It comes from knowing exactly who you are and where you're going. That kind of energy can't be touched, can't be stolen, can't be broken. And here's the truth. People will try harder when they see they can't break you. They'll push more. They'll scream louder. They'll throw everything at you, hoping to see you snap. Because the moment you snap, they win. But the moment you remain calm, the moment you stay collected, the moment you refuse to give them the reaction they're begging for, you win without lifting a finger. Because your calm is their defeat. Your stillness is their destruction. Energy is choice. You choose where it flows. You choose what deserves it. You choose who receives it, and negative people only have the power you hand them. When you withhold it, when you conserve it, when you protect it, they shrink. They can't feed on you anymore. They wither, and you rise. So never hand them what they want. Never give them your peace. Never let them believe they can reach inside and take something that belongs only to you. Protect your energy the way you protect your life, because it is your life. It is your drive, your fire, your force. Without it, you are nothing. With it, you are unstoppable. Remember this, energy wasted on negativity is energy stolen from your future. Every argument you avoid, every fight you walk away from, every insult you ignore, that is not weakness, that is strength. Because you're choosing to keep your power. You're choosing to feed your vision, not their chaos. The ones who drain never win in the end. They burn out. They collapse. They stay stuck. But the ones who protect their energy, the ones who invest it wisely, the ones who pour it into growth, into discipline, into progress, they win every time. So guard it, defend it, refuse to give it away. Let them talk, let them scheme, let them throw noise into the air, because none of it matters when your energy is locked in, when your focus is untouchable, when your fire is yours alone. Your energy cannot be stolen. And as long as you remember that, no one can stop you. Your success proves their excuses wrong, and that is why they hate you. Every achievement you earn is a mirror they cannot escape. Every victory you claim tears apart the story they've been telling themselves for years. They said it's too hard, but you did it. They said people like you can't win, but you're winning. They said the odds are impossible, but you broke through anyway. Your success exposes their lies, and it leaves them with nothing to hide behind. Excuses are comfortable. Excuses are safe. Excuses let people sleep at night believing the problem isn't them, it's the world. They blame the system. They blame the timing. They blame their upbringing. They blame everything except their own choices. But when you succeed despite the obstacles, despite the setbacks, despite the pain, you leave them no place to run. Your success destroys their illusions. It proves that it wasn't impossible. It was just that they weren't willing to pay the price. That's why your success makes them bitter. Because every time you rise, you force them to face the truth. They could have done it too. They had the same hours in a day. They had the same opportunities to start. They had the same chance to grow. But instead of working, they wasted time. Instead of building, they complained. Instead of moving forward, they stayed stuck. Now, your success is the evidence that their excuses were nothing but lies. And when excuses collapse, people feel naked. They feel exposed. They feel the weight of their own decisions. That's why they'll mock you. That's why they'll try to minimize what you've done. That's why they'll say, oh, it's not that impressive, or you just got lucky, or anyone could have done that. No, not anyone. If it were easy, they would have done it already. The truth is, they didn't have the discipline. They didn't have the drive. They didn't have the courage. And your success forces them to see that. But here's the beauty. You don't even need to say a word. You don't need to argue. You don't need to defend yourself. Your results speak louder than any excuse ever could. Because excuses are invisible, but success is undeniable. You can't fake it. You can't talk your way into it. You either have it or you don't. And when you do, it silences all the noise. This is why success is the most dangerous weapon against negativity. Because while people waste years telling themselves why it can't be done, you're out there doing it. While they sit around building excuses, you're building results. And when the results show, their entire foundation collapses. That's why success is not just about you winning, it's about proving to the world that excuses are lies. But you must understand, success has a price. It requires sacrifice, consistency, and an unshakable focus. It requires you to endure when others quit. It requires you to walk alone when others beg for company. And because most people aren't willing to pay that price, they look for reasons why you shouldn't either. They'll tell you it's not worth it. They'll tell you to slow down. They'll tell you to be realistic. But really, what they're saying is don't succeed because if you do, I'll have to face myself. So you must refuse to slow down. Refuse to shrink. Refuse to apologize for your victories. You earned them. You bled for them. You sacrificed for them. And nobody can take that away. Let them hate. Let them stew. Let them choke on their excuses. Because every time you win, you expose the truth. Excuses are just chains people choose to wear. And the most powerful part, your success doesn't just kill excuses. It inspires those who are ready. There will be people who see you and say, if they can do it, I can too. Your results will light a fire in the ones who are hungry, the ones who are willing, the ones who are done with excuses. That's the ripple effect of success. It silences the weak and fuels the strong. So don't hold back. Don't hide your achievements. Don't dim your light to make excuse makers comfortable. Shine brighter. Rise higher. Push further. Because every level you reach isn't just a win for you. It's a hammer smashing the walls of excuses others hide behind. And that is why your success matters. Remember this. Negative people don't actually hate your success. They hate what it does to their excuses. They hate that it leaves them with nothing to justify their stagnation. They hate that it exposes their laziness, their fear, their lack of discipline. But that's their burden to carry, not yours. Your only job is to keep winning. Keep proving with your life what others only talk about. Keep moving in silence and let your results roar. Because when you succeed, no excuse can survive. Your success proves their excuses wrong. And that truth is louder than any lie they could ever tell. Your standards are a mirror that exposes what others refuse to confront. The moment you decide that your life has rules, boundaries, and values that cannot be compromised, people who live without them begin to squirm. It's not because you've done something wrong. It's because your very existence reminds them of what they're lacking. When you walk into a room with self-respect, with discipline, with lines that cannot be crossed, you force others to look at their own choices. And for those who have settled for less, that is deeply uncomfortable. Understand this truth. Standards are not about perfection. They're about clarity. You know what you will accept, and you know what you won't. That alone sets you apart. Because most people live by convenience, not conviction. They bend, they settle, they compromise just to be liked, or to avoid conflict. But when you refuse to do the same, you stand out. And standing out makes people restless. Your standards shine a light on their lack of discipline. If you demand respect in relationships, anyone who thrives on manipulation or dishonesty will despise you for it. If you hold yourself to a level of excellence in your work, those who cut corners or make excuses will resent you. If you protect your peace by refusing drama, those who survive on chaos will feel threatened by your calm. Your standards are not just personal, they are powerful statements that echo into every interaction you have. People will test them, they will push against them, they will call you too much, too difficult, or hard to please. But remember this, those labels do not reflect you, they reflect them. They are a shield they use to protect themselves from the truth, that your standards make them uncomfortable because deep down, they know they should have their own. And here's where most people fall. They lower their standards just to make others feel comfortable. They shrink their worth to avoid confrontation. They silence their needs because they fear being abandoned. But the cost of lowering your standards is always higher than the cost of keeping them. You lose your peace, your self-respect, and eventually, your identity. You are not here to play small so others can feel big. You are not here to bend just so people who refuse to grow can stay in your life. You are here to live with conviction, and conviction demands that you protect your standards no matter how uncomfortable it makes others. Because here is the secret. The right people will never be threatened by your standards. They will be drawn to them. The right people will see your boundaries and feel safe, not restricted. The right people will match your effort, not resent it. The right people will rise to meet you instead of trying to pull you down. But the wrong people, they will fall away. They will gossip. They will criticize. They will try to shame you into lowering your guard. Let them. Their discomfort is not your problem. Their insecurity is not your burden. Every time you stand firm in your standards, you filter out those who cannot walk at your level, and that is exactly how it should be. You want to know what true power looks like. It is not in controlling others. It is not in proving your worth. It is in setting standards so high that the wrong people cannot reach you. It is in refusing to settle when settling would be easier. It is in knowing that your life is too valuable to be lived according to someone else's lack of discipline. So yes, your standards will make people uncomfortable. Let them squirm, let them whisper, let them call you whatever name they want. At the end of the day, you are not here for their comfort. You are here for your purpose. And your standards are the guardrails that keep you aligned with that purpose. Stand tall, hold firm, never apologize for the rules you live by, because your standards are not a weakness. They are the very thing that protect your strength, and those who can't handle them, they were never meant to walk beside you. Your resilience is untouchable. It is the one thing that cannot be taken, bought, or borrowed. It is not gifted to you by luck, nor is it granted by anyone's approval. It is forged in the fire of every hardship you've endured, every storm you've survived, and every moment you refused to quit when quitting was the easy way out. Resilience is your armor, your unshakable foundation, the silent force that keeps you standing tall even when the world wants to see you broken. People can attack your reputation. They can whisper lies, spread rumors, and attempt to discredit your name. They can try to break your confidence, mock your efforts, or laugh at your dreams. They can even strip you of money, possessions, and opportunities. But there is one thing they cannot reach, one thing they cannot touch no matter how hard they try, your resilience. That belongs to you. That is your unbreakable core. Resilience is the power that negative people fear the most. Because when they see you rise from failure, when they watch you rebuild after devastation, when they witness you standing strong after life tries to shatter you, they are reminded of everything they are not. They are reminded of the fact that while they crumble at pressure, you thrive in it. While they make excuses, you adapt. While they drown in self-pity, you rise with new strength. And that threatens them. You see, resilience exposes weakness. It shines a light on those who give up easily. It forces them to confront the reality that they lack the grit, the discipline, and the courage you possess. That is why they will often try to minimize your strength. They'll say you were lucky. They'll call you cold, detached, or emotionless. They'll insist you don't feel the pain. But the truth is, they know you do. And yet, you keep moving forward anyway. That's what makes you dangerous in their eyes. Your resilience tells the world, no matter what happens, you cannot destroy me. And when people realize they cannot break you, they lose control over you. That's what eats at them. They can no longer manipulate you with fear. They can no longer control you with shame. They can no longer bind you with doubt. Because you've proven to yourself time and time again that you will rise. And once you know that about yourself, nothing and no one can defeat you. Think about it. The most powerful people are not those who never fall. They are the ones who fall 1,000 times and rise 1,001. They are the ones who turn wounds into wisdom and failures into fuel. They are the ones who turn pain into power. That is resilience. That is why you stand apart. When life hits you, when betrayal stings, when losses leave you empty, you don't just survive, you adapt. You grow. You evolve. That constant evolution terrifies people stuck in comfort zones. They want you to break because your resilience proves they have no excuse for staying weak. Every time you rise, you destroy their lies. Every time you endure, you shatter their illusions. Every time you continue, you expose their limits. Your resilience is untouchable because it doesn't live outside of you. It lives within you. It's not built on things that can be taken away. It's built on discipline, on scars, on the choice to keep fighting when nothing makes sense. And that choice is yours alone. So when negative people come after you, remember, they're not really attacking you. They're trying to escape the reflection of their own fragility that your resilience forces them to see. Do not give them that satisfaction. Do not lower yourself to their level. Do not let their weakness infect your strength. Stay resilient. Stay untouchable. Because resilience is not just survival, it's defiance. It's declaring, I am still here, I am still standing, and I will not break. That is your power. That is what makes you unstoppable. And that is the truth. Negative people hate the most about you. They tried to break you, but you refused to bend. They wanted you silent, but your presence spoke louder than their words. They wanted you weak, but you stood taller with every strike. That is the truth they hate, the truth they cannot touch. You are not defined by their noise, their insecurity, or their bitterness. You are defined by your strength.